So, Alex, we're back again.
Yes.
For podcast number 11. Yes, I don't know how many weeks in a row we've done this for now. I think it's like 8 weeks or something we've been doing it for.
I don't know.
Like, that's...
I do know one thing, though. Zack Snyder's Justice League is finally happening! I would like to thank my mum, my dad, my sister, my brother, all my friends have helped me during these months and months of campaigning and fighting,
yes.
and all the hate and abuse that I've gotten. I've been called ignorance, but it finally happened. It feels so good.
Will you be quiet?
Hashtag we won.
Now, thank you, listener, for listening to that awkward outcry. I'm going to cue the intro now. Yes, we're back after whatever that was. Will you stop, please? Like seriously.
Okay, I'll stop.
I
promise.
I will metaphorically stab you with some scissors. So yes, welcome back to podcast. Welcome back to On the Spotcast. It's not just called podcast. That'd be a really boring.
It is a podcast.
That would be a
podcast.
Yes, but I was saying podcast as if it was the name, and that'd be a really boring name for a podcast, wouldn't it? Imagine this, just say, welcome back to podcast. It's a podcast. I mean, it'd definitely be well advertised as a good name, but it would be a fairly boring name. So today's podcast has got it's action packed, Alex. Action packed. It's it's organised. It's researched. I even, as you already know, and as some of our friends already know, I actually sat here yesterday because I was that bored in lockdown and typed up 2 pages of podcast plans, and this is the most organised On the Spotcast it's ever been. We've gone from the beginning where we didn't even bother to think about what we were going to talk about to now. We've just gone from either end of the spectrum now, so we are definitely making leaps and bounds here. So on today's episode we have a few sections. We have the Plat Chat, kind of slash of games of the week, where it's our part where we talk about our platinum trophies and all sorts of things. We have comments of the week as well, featuring your comments. Please leave some comments on the podcast and on other videos if you wish to be featured in that. They're very helpful to us because it gives us something to actually put in this podcast. And we also have a coming up, which is what we have planned for the channel and what's recently been on the channel as well. But before that, Alex, at the end of last week's episode, we talked about horses.
Yes, we did.
For some reason, I can't remember why. But we talked
Probably
about
one of your weird ass fetishes.
No, I don't have any. I do share things in common with horses, but I don't have I don't find them fetishistic. So yes, for some reason we got into I got into at least a lot of horse puns for some reason, and I promised listeners, if you made it that far, that I would begin today's episode with some horse puns. Now I thought originally I might do loads, but then I decided it'd probably be annoying, so I picked my top 5, and I found 5 horse puns on the internet that I got inspiration for them a little bit, and then I sort of changed up the dialogue so it would make sense for the podcast and feature our names and things. So yes, are you ready, Alex? My top 5 horse puns.
Okay, let's get this.
Brilliant. So number 1, Alex, if you don't stop talking about this Snyder Cut, if you don't rein
It's
it
actually
in...
Zack Snyder's Justice League now. It's not the Snyder Cut, because we're getting more than the Snyder Cut, so it's Zack Snyder's Justice League.
God. Let me say my puns. You can't interrupt me halfway through the pun. It ruins the comedic timing.
I'm clarifying
Okay.
shit for you. But anyway, yes, carry on, yes.
You know, Alex,
Yes?
if you don't rein it in about the Justice League, you're only going to stir up trouble. Silence. Did you get that one?
No.
You didn't get it. Do you know what a stirrup is? STIRRUP.
Don't think so, no.
Oh, for the love of God. Everyone else knows what it is. I mean, everyone else I've told that joke to got it. Okay. It's that thing that you put your foot in, I think, when you get on top of the horse. You know?
Oh.
So it sounds like stir up, but stirrup. Oh well, we'll go on to the next one. Christ. You know, the other day, Alex, I saw a horse with beautiful hair. You know, they have nice manes, don't they? Beautiful hair.
Yeah?
And I thought to myself, maybe that horse was born with it, or maybe it's just Maybelline. You got that one. Okay, number 3. I know this torture is going to carry on for longer, but it has to happen. I did promise. I am a man of my word. So, normally on the podcast, Alex tends to turn up late for recording times. He didn't today, actually, which is unfortunately not going to work on my joke. But normally, Alex is late for this podcast, and I think if I had a horse, I'd tell him to hoof it. Fine, okay, I'll go on to the next one. But I hope you realise, Alex, and I hope you actually, tell you what, I'm not gonna do this one because it doesn't make sense anymore because of what we talked about today. I'm gonna move on to the last one. Okay? So let me just say, everyone, I thank you for sticking with me during this pun special, and I realise they were terrible, but that's kind of the point. And I'd just like to thank Alex for his support and his unbridled enthusiasm.
You're welcome.
Get it? Do you get it?
Now, get what?
The pun. Oh my God. It's like having special people on the chat. It's just like unbridled, like bridle, like the thing horses go on. Okay. Well, that worked well, didn't it, as a segment? You're not going to be laughing this way. You're going to be laughing at the puns.
Wow.
What I didn't rely on during this is the puns make sense, but you have to have some sort of knowledge to find them funny, I guess. At least you got the Maybelline one. That was good. Hopefully, people who know about horse, or at least have some sort of basic horse knowledge, would.
I don't have a lot of horse knowledge.
No, I've learned that today. But anyway,
you should have guessed because you've known me long enough. You should have known.
It's not like I could have reached out about other topics. We were stuck on the horses, weren't we? There's not much I could do. But anyway, let's get on to comments of the week.
You've actually got several comments. I think you said in the group chat.
Well, I've got 3. Does that count as several? Or is that a few?
3 more than you often get.
True. Well, this week on the comments of the week, if you're still listening, because I don't think people are. I think they've left by now. after you're screaming.
We peaked so early with my.
No. We never peaked. We started off with you screaming and then me making a bunch of jokes that don't land anywhere because you didn't understand them, then hysterically laugh because you didn't understand them.
No, I hysterically laughed because you were so triggered by it all. Oh, man.
So yes,
that's banner.
as we didn't have much comments or many comments on the podcast except bar Bruno's one that I'm going to read out first, I actually went across my channel as a whole and picked out. Picked out comments. So not comments that are questions or ones on that 4G video. I just went across the job and just sort of picked out random comments that I'd like to read out. So from now on, I think in the future I'd like to make this kind of like a little feedback hub. You know, this could be the part of the channel where everyone's comments converge, and I can always reply to them in real life. This is, this is not just a typed reply. This is a verbal reply. So yes, comments of the week. So the first comment comes from last week's podcast, where we were talking a lot about The Last of Us Part 2 and video game spoilers, and we talked at one point about Ellie's sexuality, and particularly, is she gay, is she a lesbian, is she straight, whatever that may be. And we talked about the one particular part where she looked through a gay porn magazine, which I remember describing to you, not the porn magazine, but the gameplay. And we were debating whether or not that was some sort of hint that whether she was not into men or whatever else. And Bruno left a comment, and he says, I think that Ellie looking through Bill's magazine and making fun of it is supposed to be a subtle hint that she's not into men. Now, I personally agree with that. And then following the events of Left Behind, which is set before the game, actually, I think it's always been on the cards. I don't know what you think, but I think his comment reigns true.
I don't really. Because as you lot know, I haven't played any Last of Us because I can't. I just know that, like I said last time, I'm not bothered what a character is into. I just care whether they're a good character or not.
Fair enough.
Although I will say, and I've like said a few times to Bruno, and I think one other one of that. As long as if they're a character that's gay, don't make them being gay or whatever they're like defining thing in that.
They're USP.
Even though I'm not gay, I find that a bit. I don't know what the word would be. Maybe demeaning. I don't know. Make them a good character that's gay, not make them a good character that's gay, not a gay character.
So you mean
focus on the character.
Don't make them gay just for the sake of being gay.
Yeah, make them a good character who just happens to, like the same gender that they are.
Don't make them gay because you're just looking to appease certain groups of people.
Yeah, absolutely. But
so,
as I say, as long as you don't do that, I'm not, worried about.
So you don't want them their sexuality to be the USP of the character.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're talking about unique selling point and not the handgun.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that goes even worse. So moving on, we're going over the last two comments I have are both from my haircut video. I think
I've seen these comments.
Yes, this was a video that I filmed where I, if you haven't seen it, decided to cut my own hair during lockdown.
What are the views on that? Because when I went on,
25
or something. 8 or 9.
25 or something.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so I decided to cut my own hair because, like everyone, everyone's hair is getting long in lockdown because normal sort of hairdressers aren't open if you normally go to them, or if you do your own hair normally, or someone else does it for you. Obviously, it's a normal thing.
My dad cuts mine, my brother's, and my sister's hair. My mum's the one who's suffering.
Yeah. Well, girls can get away with it, I think, because girls just are used to having longer hair than guys, and those guys already have long hair.
My sister, as you've seen, and I think a few ones in the group chat, I think Isabel definitely has, she has shorter hair.
Yeah, so it's fine with that, but that's a good example. Isabel, speaking example, she's got very long hair. Her hair goes down halfway down her back, so not having a haircut for her is just part of normal life. So she's not worried about it. But yeah, my hair was getting bloody long, and you can see actually in a few videos that I've made before that one and before last week's podcast, you can see me at the beginning of every video pointing out that my hair looks a mess the whole time.
I remember that one.
I did that a lot, and so I decided that I was going to cut my hair. I went out and bought a inappropriate beard trimmer, and I thought, fuck it, I'll film it because at least if it goes wrong, I might be able to get some views. But it went okay, kind of. People seem to like it anyway. But if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's on the channel now. It's about 6 minutes long. It's mostly a montage, but It should give you a good
It's
laugh.
the video on the channel that's before this podcast, unless you happen to upload turn it between them and completely ruin it.
I don't have anything else to upload, so I don't think it will.
Oh.
But yes, so anyway, going on to the comments from that little diversion, we have a comment from a guy called Zombie Killer 935, which I believe he's been on a previous comments section of the week, I think. But he is subscribed to me, as I can see, because YouTube shows me these things. So thank you for your subscription. And he said, you've actually done a great job. And I appreciate that, because I didn't think I had done a great job. I thought I did a bit of a terrible job. And to be honest, the way I make it look on camera is that I have done a good job. But if you look at my hair closely, you will see that it's not that great.
And you're an ugly bastard at the best of times.
Well, that's just kind of mean, isn't it? Well, okay. Right, okay.
That's the sort of thing you'd say to me.
Alright, well,
It's banter.
So, anyway, yeah. In that video, I make a big point of putting gel in my hair, and once I've done it, I use the gel to not only style the front, but make the other parts that I'd missed look normal. So I've kind of really styled my hair off in that. But which is how I'd normally have it if I was leaving the house anyway, I suppose. But yeah, if you looked at my hair in detail on the sides, or especially on the back, you would definitely see that there are some parts where I dug in and there was no hair at all. So yeah, it felt a bit weird. It's definitely shorter than I normally have it, but it's definitely relieving, especially for the fucking hot weather that we're having at the moment. I can't think what it'd be like sleeping at nights now, because it's really hot sleeping last night and I had my fan on. I can't imagine what it'd be like if I had long hair as well. It'd be like torture. So good. Our last comment for today then comes from Henrik, long-time subscriber of the previous channel on this one. I haven't seen it.
Jesus Christ, that's a blast from the past.
It is. So yes, he said ended up pretty good, to be honest. He took the easy route though and just went for a bald style, which
yeah, a lot of ones have. Like several YouTubers I watch have gone for like a bald style.
I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed to do that. I was banned.
What, you weren't allowed? I thought you. I remember one time you were saying, I'm a 23-year-old. I can do whatever the fuck I want. What happened to that?
Well, I'm 24. Thanks for a start. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
but this was like before you were 24. You were like, I'm a 23-year-old. I do whatever the fuck I want because I'm a grown man. Or
well, I can, but I'm also in a relationship when that person in the other relationship
so
didn't.
it wasn't your mum that said no? It was your
No,
fiance.
I wouldn't care if she told me not to do it.
Oh, I was just,
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do anything because she said not to do it.
Well, that was me trying to, burn you, so to speak, and that completely failed.
No, that was.
Why Isabel would suddenly not love you just because you had no hair on your head?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just really ugly about hair. Who knows? Who knows? Isabel, comment on the podcast and we'll find out. But anyway, yeah. So that's it for this week's comments. And yeah, if you want to have your comment featured, please leave it either in this comment section or, try your luck and leave a comment on a different video and I'll see it anyway. I see all of the comments no matter where they are. So if I think they're good enough or I like them, I'll put them in. And if you comment on this podcast, I'll probably put it in either way because I need content. So say whatever you want, even if it's deeply offensive, and I'll just bleep it out. So, there you go. So, anything to add, Alex?
No.
No? Well, there's some good comments, but thank you for your comments.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so moving on, we have the Plat Chat, which is our section where we talk all about... Is this the new theme, is it?
Plat Chat. No, it's just a work in progress.
Yeah, no, I appreciate not composers themselves, they don't sing the thing, do they? They just come up with the idea, then they find the singers, so you keep working on it. If you can come up with something decent, I'll get Hans Zimmer on the phone, and I know him. Me and Hans go way back to Modern Warfare 2. Good man, top man. I'll organise that. So you keep thinking about that. But this week, we're doing the Plat Chat, which is our section where we talk about trophies, achievements, platinums, the non-equivalent that Xbox doesn't have, and the like. And basically, it's also games of the week, but we just talk about trophies and games we've been playing. So it's all about gaming. And so this time last week, I was working on the Return to Arkham City Platinum, which I got on the 14th of May. I can't remember when we recorded the podcast, but I don't think it was very long after. After I'd gone through New Game Plus and done everything, and the fucking ridiculous amount of challenge maps I repeatedly did for every character. Oh, the slog. Since then, however, I went on to the next Batman game in the series. I went on to Arkham Knight, which I only had like a few random trophies left to get. I think I had the one for killing 5 tanks by shooting the the sensor relay thing on them without 5 in a row. I guess I just never bothered to do it by that point, or I just never missed it. I also had the one.
Well, the thing is for that achievement, you achievement / trophy, you're not supposed to use the main gun. You're meant to use like the lighter machine gun.
The Vulcan machine gun.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I know that.
I think a lot of people have thought because.
Yeah, you don't particularly use it.
I get into the habit of doing that when I'm actually trying to the challenge maps and stuff. You do get extra points for getting that, but the normal in the base game and that, I just use the main gun.
Yeah, and you've got to do it without getting hit as well, so that's not always something. Because especially when you stop with that, you've got to stop, stay still, zoom in, and then bing, pinpoint one off. I also have one for doing every type of Predator takedown, because I must have missed a couple, because there's quite a lot of Predator takedowns in Arkham Knight. Compared to the previous games.
Everything in Arkham Knight.
Compared to the previous games,
Arkham Knight is the only one of the 3 Rocksteady games that doesn't have the achievement / trophy for using every single combat move in a single combo. It's got so many.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how I'd even go about doing that. I'm not sure. Well, I'm glad it's not there. So let's not complain, because they might patch it in and take all our platinums away.
There is one for doing 15, which in Arkham Knight is just easy, seeing as there's 40 probably.
Yeah. I already had that at the time. I wasn't even aware of that. I'd forgotten about that, so I must have already done it at some point.
Did you play the combat properly?
Yes, I do. Thank you. So yeah, I did the one. I must have been missing. I just went on the map where it's the I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where it's the big sort of train station, and the the big train platform of the one where you have the Endless Night on, where you
It is called Endless Night.
Oh, it's called Endless Night, is it?
It's called Endless Night.
Yes, so there is that challenge there where you have to do that. 'Cause I did that actually, the one where you got to take out 50 enemies. I did that first try when I did it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I did too.
I came up with just a good idea of its silent takedown and fear takedowns, and then a few environmental ones if you feel like it. You can do pretty much.
What's your record on Endless Night, just out of curiosity?
Oh, I think I got to 50 and I was like, I want to get the other trophies done, so probably 50.
My record's 200, and I probably could have gone slightly further. But,
well, the quicker you do it, the more...
It's like status online, I've got a couple of 100,000. I'm like, Jesus, get a life.
Once you do a couple of fear takedowns, you've increased your time by so much, you have quite a lot of time to start being more careful. But, so that, and... what other trophies did I have? The one for doing 8 or 100 meter Batmobile jumps.
Yeah, that one can be tricky.
I just did the method where you drive up to the edge of the ramp and just set a waypoint that's 100 meters away, and so apparently there is that little thing that if you land and you hear a little explosion, that means you've landed it.
There's also that ain't there one for drifting or that? That one can be annoying too, because drifting can be finicky until you get the hang of it.
But there's a hack for that. Did you not know?
Is it?
Well, you can do donuts in the game.
Oh yeah.
If you
I tried the donut thing and I was really crap at that when I was going for it.
I found it really easy. The trick is if you see your brakes glowing, your brake discs and that, it means it's not counting. But if you drive a little bit forward and then immediately go into a donut, it just drifts the car around in a circle, and I just did that for 3 minutes and got it straight away. So
what's ironic about that is that, and I know this ties in the US set because you've been doing the challenge maps like the Batmobile races and that. When you drift during the Batmobile challenge maps, the timer slows down to like a quarter of average usual speed. So if you're really good at drifting,
Yeah.
You save a lot of time.
I'll tell you what.
If you didn't bother boosting it, you'd almost certainly get it going for 3 stars in all the Batmobile racetracks.
I'll tell you
for, like every track, every Batmobile.
I'll tell you what. There's one, the only drifting trophy I can think of that I really just like was in Days Gone, and there's one in there for boosting and drifting and then holding it for about 5 seconds continuous, which sounds quite easy on paper, but because it's got quite a realistic way of riding, the bike off road in that game, it makes it really hard to actually hold a specific line. And I must have tried about 30 times before I eventually got it, and that was one of the ones I needed for the platinum, so that was quite hard. But anyway, yes, so I got Arkham Knight Platinum on the 17th for 3 I've actually just realised all my Platinums are 3 days apart from each other. My Arkham City was on the 14th, Arkham Knight was on the 17th, and then after that I went back into the world of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Back to ancient Greece, and, well... Okay, look, we don't need a representation of every theme. So, I will turn you off. I have the power to do that in this. I can just turn off the speaker and you've gone. Which I did at the beginning before we started recording as a mistake. So yes, I started playing Odyssey again. Firstly, I went through all the DLC trophies and just cleared up what I had left. And then I went through the...
It was your first time going for the Atlantis DLC, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually,
You got like halfway through.
I got all the way up to the 3rd episode, the beginning of Atlantis, and I'd done the intro, and for some reason, I can't remember why, I guess something else came along, I guess. Some other game probably came out. So yeah, I went back and I had that last episode to do, which actually turned out to be my favourite episode in the end. Out of all of them. And so I did that. Then
like how they tied the mythical creatures into like
everything. Yeah, I mean, as soon as they came out and said, "Oh, someone's doing experiments on humans," I was like, "Well, I can guess who this is going to be." I was like, "Who else?"
You actually saw Aita.
Yeah,
well,
and he's a complete douche.
Well, I mean, you know from like Assassin's Creed 3 and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he was a complete douche when he was a sage in the other games, I guess.
Yeah,
but
with Bartholomew Roberts and Jermaine in Unity.
But anyway, yeah. So did that, cleared up all the trophies, and that I had to pop back through into Elysium and the Underworld just to get to close all the Tartarus rifts and to get all the Marble Maiden statues because I missed a couple. Then I head back into the main game, and I had to do quite a few different ones. I had to get all the Address Deer up to legendary status. I had to do all the underwater locations. I had to, I did all that thing, but I've done it all. And I got the platinum on yesterday, actually, before recording this. It's on the 21st when we're recording this. So yeah, that was good. It was a big platinum, that one, so it's good to get that one out of the way. And now I'm moving on to Mafia 2. The definitive edition, which actually came out yesterday, very randomly. We've had a lot of We've had a lot of excuse me, I have wind. We've had a lot of random game releases going on, and I didn't even know about it until PlayStation Access streamed it. And I'm saying, what, Mafia 2? And they're like, yeah, today I looked up and Mafia 2 only announced it yesterday that they were releasing it the same day. I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, I like that kind of style of like game release actually, because it's kind of like you don't have to look forward to something and then have to wait for it because you never knew it was there. You're like, oh, this sounds really exciting. When's it out? Oh, I'm gonna have to wait 3 years for it. I was like, okay, right. When's it out? Oh, at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Better, It kind of it does remove that anxious wait to want to play something if you immediately have it. So yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Mafia 2 got remastered. Originally I didn't think it had been remastered that much, but then I've kind of watched a few side-by-side comparison videos, and after playing it myself, I do actually see there's quite a large difference in the graphics. It's not, it still doesn't look like a next-gen game, but compared to what it used to look like, and you can see they've definitely made some improvements, especially a lot of the car details as well. That and I feel as that game is actually quite innovative, in the way it was. It's got a lot of things in that game that didn't need to be there, you can interact with so many things. I don't know if you want me to get into it or not, but I think you might find it interesting.
Go ahead.
I think you'd appreciate it. Like you can turn taps on and off in the sinks and in the kitchen, in the bathroom. You can flush the toilet. You can turn on the showers off and on. You can tidy up things. You can open the fridge to eat food, and you properly eat the food. If it's snowing outside, the longer your car sits there, the more snow it accumulates. And as soon as you start driving, the snow falls off gradually and it melts. If it's icy roads, the car doesn't handle as well and the controller rumbles more and it's harder to drive if it's... You know what I mean? So there's a lot of really cool details like that. The first 15 minutes of the game was me running around your best friend Joe's apartment, flushing his toilet and turning on his shower and getting around it. Thinking I went to at one point. I went there, turned on the toilet, then immediately turned around and washed my hands in the sink, and then left. I was like, "Well,
that's the sign of a developer with passion. Because any sort of developer with enough skill and money can make a game, but putting in those little things that if they weren't there, you wouldn't care. But the fact they are there, you appreciate them, that they went that little extra mile, and that definitely shows when a developer's got passion for the game they're making.
Yeah, so there's a lot of little details. I'm sure I'll notice more as time goes on, so perhaps by next week's podcast I can say a few more. But those are the ones.
Coming next week, top 20 things in Mafia 2 that normally wouldn't be there, but they are there, and we're glad they're there, even though they didn't need to be there.
They didn't need to be there.
No. Working title.
They didn't need to be there, but the fact that they went through the effort putting them there is good. Those were the details we never knew we wanted, but we needed.
I like that one.
Anyway, so...
Patent that.
Yeah, I will. I'll contact the patent office immediately after this video. So yes, what games have you been playing anyway?
Odyssey. Just Odyssey still.
Just Odyssey.
I also briefly went back to the Master Chief Collection version of Halo Reach to do all the get all the speedrunning achievements, which I did in like a day, because most of the part times that you have to get under is it's usually 10 to 20 minutes, or at most 25. So and I've just played Halo a lot. So, and of course you're doing it on easy, which makes it even easier. So you can bang out like an entire Halo game just by doing that in half a day if you're good enough and fast enough.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I did that, and both before that and after that, I've just been playing Odyssey practically non-stop. Any
other plans for the future games?
When I've done Odyssey, I will go back to both Force Unleashed games and do the DLC on the hardest difficulty. So I got every achievement in those. There's some stuff in Injustice 2 I also want to do, and also maybe next month, but probably the month after, I'm going to do a big chunk of the DLC achievements for Halo Wars 2. Because I've done the story DLC, but there's also, because they added new characters and new units and new modes and that in the DLC and that, and there's also all these different modes in the base game that I haven't touched. And of course there's a lot of achievements for all that, so I'm going to do a massive, just 2 week long chunk of just banging out Halo Wars 2
Fair enough.
Achievements.
You bang you bang it out as much as you like, Alex.
Yeah.
You bang one out, I'm
gonna proper go to town like a rabbit.
I might bang one out after this podcast if I feel like it. I don't know. I'll tell you what though. What's been giving me feelings of banging one out is the collectibles in Mafia 2.
Oh yeah, Playboy.
Yeah, the fucking porn magazines. You have to. Now they're very story specific, so I'm following a guide. You did say about hard playthrough as well. I'm actually playing through on hard first time now because I played the game before, so I'm just getting the trophy for that immediately. Get out of the way, and also I think it stacks with the playing through on easy difficulty as well, so I should be able to get both at once. The Playboy magazines, which is ironic because where the game's set was actually about 10 years before Playboy even existed. But excluding that, it means the collectibles are just pictures of tits. And we are only human, and it's in lockdown.
Speak for yourself.
It's in lockdown. I can't see my fiance.
Well, you could video chat.
I can, but I can't see her boobs. Because I'm not there in real life. And which means
Yeah, I know.
it's very hard to have sex with someone who's not there in the same room as you.
Drill a hole in the wall.
That'd to be a very long hole. There's not a wall that just separates.
I don't think it'd be a very long hole instead of saying it'd have to be a very, very wide hole. You basically, so what you're saying is your dick is like a pencil.
It's like one of them pepperami wide boys.
Ugh, I hate pepperami.
I like pepperami. I could live off them. I've been eating so many during lockdown.
Oh, Ben just came out.
Bruno has been talking to me about the speciality of sausage.
Carry on.
Did you ever see them pepperamis that they put into like bread rolls?
I don't think
They came
so,
like
no.
pre-packaged in like a terrible bread roll. They were okay, but they were not anything special.
I haven't seen those.
But yeah, I like pepperamis. If you ever meet me in real life and you like to thank me for making these videos, give me pepperamis. I'll have any of them. I don't really like the hot ones that much, but
I'll
I
take
prefer.
a couple of hot wings from KFC if anyone,
Well, you know KFC is open now, right?
I know a few drive-through. I know some drive-through McDonald's are.
Yeah, I know because there's pictures.
I heard all KFCs were.
Yeah, there's pictures of the drive-through at McDonald's near where we live, and there was like a fucking queue of cars down the road.
Well, duh. The things I'm missing most in this quarantine are McDonald's and KFC.
Well, I'm just missing my my fiance the most, so you know, because I can't go see it because they don't operate flights just for me, fuckers. What do these people think they are, that I can't get on my plane and go where I want? Bastards. Taking away my rights. I'm going to go protest in the street like those people have been doing about, for some reason. Did you see those people protesting in the
About for some reason, I don't. Well, you want about in like America?
No, in here. They've been doing it over here as well. Have you not seen it?
Really, I had no idea about that.
Yeah, like there's like thousands of people that went in London into like the middle of the, like Hyde Park or something and just protested because of lockdown.
I actually ain't seen that. I've seen it all in America, but I ain't seen it here.
We're getting paid to sit at home and do nothing, and we're angry about it.
Yeah, just watch some Netflix.
That's what I've been doing. I'm getting paid. I've occasionally go out to the shop, and I'm relatively, apart from not being able to go and see Isabel, which is like the only downside of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm happy because I'm getting paid my full-time hours, which is like over $1,000 a month, just to sit here and play and get platinums. It's like I'm being paid to trophy hunt. It's amazing. I can recommend Lockdown enough. In
I
fact,
had a busy like September to late November plan the end of this year. I wondered if I was going to fit it all in, but you know, now with this, I almost certainly will.
yeah, there's plenty of time, plenty of free time. I mean, I might even pop to the shops after this podcast and then come back and, you know, I'll treat going to the shops as like my lunch break from work, and then I'll come back and carry on with the hard work of platinum hunting.
Yeah.
So yes, anyway, let's move on to our last section today, which is just the kind of, we call it coming up, but it's not necessarily about things that are coming up.
So you better get this party started.
He's got a theme for everything this week, hasn't he? He's become theme man. He's got every theme. So, you know, if you're looking for a theme for your YouTube channel or podcast or anything else, contact Alex via his YouTube information, his phone number, which I will put on the screen. And are you doing the fucking theme to Assassin's Creed 3 now? Alex! I'm covering up the speaker with my hand now.
I'm done.
So you should sound very. Are you doing the? What, you can't use the theme for Assassin's Creed 3 as people's things. It's going to get copyrighted, Alex. It's not your work. You need to come up with your own original works. But anyway, before I turn you off again, we're going to move on. And if you're wondering what happened then, I put my hand over the speaker, so you probably sounded really muffled. But it works, so. It's like special children. He is. He is a very special boy. So yes. Anyway, what's been up on the channel? Not much. Just a haircut video, really. Since the last podcast. Mainly because that's all I've had a chance to record. Or well, not chance. I have plenty of chances, but it's all I've wanted to record. I haven't really had any ideas for anything else. So yeah. Like actually no. Hold on. I don't think actually that's not true. The lockdown vlog, where I had a day in the life of lockdown and had some crazy amount of editing in it.
Yeah.
With the UK government, so I can't talk. With the UK government supposedly tracking me of satellites to see if I was going out to the shops or not. I was quite happy with that edit, but I don't know. I think it came out okay, but I quite liked it. It took quite a long while to edit all that together. Took me forever to do all. I had to add all those little details, like all the writing and everything. I had to do all myself. So it took time, but it came out well. So yeah. So that was actually filmed after last week's podcast, but I actually uploaded it before I uploaded the podcast. So it's kind of some sort of weird time vortex there. Yeah, because I actually I vlogged on the day that we filmed the podcast. But then stuck the vlog up first because I didn't want to have podcasts in a row of each other. I didn't want it to be just podcast. So yeah, that was actually a video that we did. Oh, I did. And yeah, the haircut video, which you can go and see too. What's coming up on the channel? Well, this podcast you're listening to now, that's up on the channel. I can confirm if you're listening to this, it must be, or you've hacked into my computer. One of the two. So
I
yeah.
just had an idea of. If you did do another day in the life vlog thing, and it happened to be a day we did a podcast, you could sort of do a behind the scenes, of you filming the podcast as well. You could sort of incorporate that.
I mean, I could, but I mean, I don't
find that interesting.
I don't know what I do really, because it's not a great deal of things that happen. I mean, what do? I reach over to the other side of my desk and pull the microphone here. Double click on Audacity, hit record, and turn my Bluetooth speaker on the phone call to Alex, and that's it. Really.
That was just an idea.
I mean, that's it. I mean, the microphone, I don't even have to plug it in. It's in all the time. I literally just have to reach over like half an arm's length and just drag it to me. Actually, I do have to move my chair closer to the desk so I can.
Think of all the calories.
That's just. That is hard. It is
all
hard.
the calories you lose doing that.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Today's podcast. I will just say thank you for 150 subscribers there, which I think I hit.
Oh, you actually hit 150. I saw it was 149 last night.
Yes, it's been 149 for about 3 days, and I was beginning to think perhaps I'd hit the limit. Perhaps YouTube had put a stop on me. But no, I'm on 151 now, or probably not anymore. I'm probably on like fucking 120 now. 30 people have just left. But so yeah, thank you for that. It's not a big deal or anything. It's not, it's only 150, but I appreciate it nonetheless. It's not about the subscribers. I just do it because I enjoy doing it. So, I mean, if I didn't enjoy doing it, I wouldn't do it at all. So,
it's like Joker says in The Dark Knight. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message.
Well, it would never be about the money. Well, how much would I get for doing this?
Exactly. That further reinforces.
Actually, I think on my Social Blade did tell me that I could earn about £27 a year or doing my YouTube at the moment. So that's good.
That's 27 more pound than you'd have had otherwise.
I do, but you do need to get over like a certain amount of money per month to actually be allowed to or entitled to even have it in the first place. So, I'd be waiting quite a long while to get that money. I think you have to get to like £100 or £1,000 before they'll actually pay you. So I'll be waiting quite a few years to get the money, and even then I need to be at 1,000 subscribers before I could even hope of monetizing anything. Not that I would anyway. But yeah, that's not what it's about. So yeah, that's it for today's podcast. It's a bit shorter than normal. We're not even at an hour, just 45 minutes, which is alright, because sometimes we don't want to sit here and spend a whole day when we've got to actually be at home working. I'm working from home, kind of. I mean, if you can, I think trophy hunting counts as important work. I think it's crucial that I get these platinums, because if I don't get the platinums, these developers aren't going to have a job. You know, they need me to play the game so they can have their jobs, and I'm supporting them and their families by getting these trophies. So I am a hero, and there should be flags outside on the side of the road that says "Thank you, trophy hunters." # support the trophy hunters. That's why, and everyone should come outside of their houses on every Thursday and clap for the trophy hunters and their important work.
There's another, you know, more important, you know, standing outside your house and clapping event that happens every Thursday evening. Haven't you heard?
No, what is it, Alex?
I don't know. I just heard that. You know, I just heard that there was.
Oh yes. Oh. I don't know what that is about. Maybe that's what they do that for achievement hunters or something. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the ones they do for whatever the fuck Nintendo has. I don't know. Maybe those are all Switch. Maybe those are. Oh. Maybe that's what they're doing there. Maybe they're pleading. They're going, please, Nintendo, give us achievements or trophies or something. Maybe those are all the people that have Switches and they're going outside to play with each other's Switches. I don't know. We'll never know what they're doing. Actually, the first time I heard them doing the clap, I actually thought someone was playing a bongo drum outside. Because actually, our neighbours.
Do people actually do that around
I think
here?
across our neighbours across the road actually were hitting like a drum. I mean, I'm pretty sure my mum does it. It's really quite. It's more frustrating than anything because I'm trying to concentrate on the game and all of a sudden I hear coming through the window as the whole fucking neighbourhood's doing it.
You stick your head out the window and say, "Mum, how do you expect me to do all this drifting? We've got that racket going on. I'm trying to do donuts in here."
And I I don't need to do the donuts. I've already got the donuts, remember? But I will support you, Alex. And I say, and when today's, and by the way, we are just kidding here. We do understand that it's important, and people are, you know, we're just having a laugh. But I will end today's podcast with this message, okay? It's # stay at home and earn trophies. And save lives by doing so. For every trophy you get, a puppy lives. Did you know that?
Puppy.
For every time you go past a missable trophy in the game, a puppy dies.
Wow, that got dark.
In Japan, in Sony's head offices, some guy's sitting there and he just snaps its neck every time. Someone has a... Not really, I'm just kidding. This is going to be really dark, isn't it? This got really dark all of a sudden. Apologies to everyone.
They were like, "Oh, this is Odyssey, Puns, Odyssey. What? Puppy's dying?"
Well, yeah, but we had to get back to reality here. Come on. We couldn't. It can't be all sweetness and light and happiness. This is real life. This is not how it works. Things die.
Yeah. Speaking
Sad.
of sweetness. Hello, Shadium!
Oh, he's got it in this time.
Hello, Shadium!
She can't say hello.
Shadium!
She can't say hello back, and I'm not going to do it because I could be racist. Because I could probably, I'd probably put on some sort of African accent.
Yeah.
What part of Africa is she from?
Tunisia. Why?
Where is Tunisia in the region of Africa? Is it like northern Africa, southern, somewhere?
It's not like north.
Oh. Okay.
If it's not, I look like a right regional just there.
Oh, I don't know either. I'm not particularly very well versed on. I'm just gonna Google Tunisia quickly, but I'm not very well versed on where things are. So let's have a look.
Except anything that's in Assassin's Creed Origins.
Well, I mean, I do have quite a decent knowledge of where countries are, but I'm not particularly. Africa is obviously a massive place, so know where everything is if you don't actually exist there. It's not easy. So yeah, it looks Tunisia is basically at the top of Africa.
Yes,
it looks
right.
Looking at the map, it's actually the most northern African country.
Ah.
Second only to Algeria, which just peaks alongside. It's actually very close to Italy. It always has. Tunisia has like a little wang that comes off the top of it that sort of points towards southern Italy. Or Sicily, anyway. Well, it does. You know how Florida has that little wang?
Yeah.
Well, if you after this, if you like, go find Tunisia on Google Maps, and you'll just see where it points to Sicily. You'll just see it's got this a little wang, a little Tunisian wang. A little Tunisian wang that just points towards Sicily. Yeah.
So much wang.
There's a couple of little islands that are coming out of the top of the wang, so it actually looks like Tunisia's wang is spunking on Sicily. Yeah, there's Tunisia's little wang.
She's going to be listening to this.
Actually, to be honest, it looks quite bad because the shape of Italy looks like a boot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it actually looks like Italy is going to kick Tunisia's wang, actually, in second thought. It looks like it's getting ready to give Tunisia's wang a little kick.
What if Tunisia's wang's actually got a weird foot fetish?
Actually, thinking about it, looking at Tunisia now actually looks a bit like a seahorse. Huh.
Okay.
But Tunisia's wang it's actually quite a tiny wang, to be honest. But yeah, it's there. I don't know if the wang has a. I don't know if the wang has a name. I can't see anything on it. It's not like a. Tunis or something. Tunis is the nearest place. Hammamet is a place near it, if that's how you say it. But yeah, if you live in Korba, Manzil, Tamim, Kelabir, Al Hua something, then you live in Tunisia's wang. Congratulations. I don't know if any other country. We should do this. The wangs of the world. We should look through the country and
is that going to be like next week's equivalent of the horse puns?
No, I don't want to. Oh, actually, no. Hold on. Saudi Arabia's got a little erect wang here. Qatar. Oh, Qatar. It's Qatar. No, it's not. It's not. Sorry, it's Qatar. It's not. It's not Saudi Arabia. On Saudi Arabia, Qatar has this little. Is attached to it, and it just looks like a little erect wang. Oh, actually, hold on. Azerbaijan's just come in with a semi wang. That's good. That's lovely. That's lovely. That's quite a shapely one. That one. Hong Kong's. Oh yeah, no China's got a little bit of a wang hanging down, just a very small wang. Indonesia's got a double wang. That's even better. Alright, I think we should stop now before Alex has some sort of fit.
I'm crying.
Wangs of the world. Actually, I mean, yeah. Yeah, no. It's good. It's good. Yeah. But anyway, I hope we haven't offended anyone.
I said last time that if she only wanted to ever appear and like Isabel has once or twice in the past, she should ask you. But now maybe she's thinking, you know what? I'm actually good. You know.
Well, I don't mind. We don't mind having guests, but if you do come onto the podcast, just be aware you are subjected to our ribbing and such. So yeah, that is Wangs of the World.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
what a way to end the podcast.
I encourage you all to go out there and look at Google Maps in your free time, or get Google Earth if you really want to get even more immersed and you get sort of like a 3D wang. Even better. Yeah, go out there and find the wangs of the world. I don't know if I can put Wangs of the World in that. If I can put Wangs of the World in the title, I will, but I don't know if YouTube would kind of like it.
That'll be a spoiler, because this will be a big surprise at the end.
Would it? No, would it though?
It'll be a surprise at the end.
But the idea of like horse puns and Wangs of the World sounds like such a nice name. I don't think it'd be a spoiler. No one's going to know what Wangs of the World are they?
Okay.
I mean, no one's going to think, oh, Wangs of the World, they must be talking about countries that look like they have dicks hanging off the side of them. Obviously. But anyway, yes. Thank you all for listening to today's podcast. Hopefully it was enjoyable for you. Alex seemed to definitely enjoy it.
I'm so sorry, Shirley.
Well, to be fair, we didn't specifically just talk about Africa. I did move on. But Tunisia did have the best wang I've seen, so maybe that's something you could be proud of. That, Shionium, you're listening, Evie.
Yeah, that Shionium, you have a nice wang, according to Ben.
You have a beautiful wang. Not you personally, just your country. Okay? It's a lovely shaped part of your country, that very formidable, that Wang. Just
I'm sure if she does have one, it is relatively pleasing.
But just remember, Bruno is in Italy and he's looking prepared to kick that Wang, so be careful.
Oh God, you're dying now.
Yeah, sorry, the more... my throat seems to be a bit dry. Let me just take a sip of my drink. Delicious. I've got one of them, the podcast is still going on. I've got one of them little, do you know them little Robinson's squash things that are in the little squeezy things? I picked a couple of them up from the shop that day because I was thinking if I tried to drink more healthy water, I can just keep refilling it and then don't have to bother going downstairs to get more stuff. I can just squeeze it into my drink quick. Life hacks. So, yes, on a podcast that featured horse puns, trophies, games and wangs. That's it. And I think it's best we end it now because we are actually getting towards the half an hour mark because we spent 10 minutes talking about wangs.
We spent 12 minutes talking about countries having wangs.
That was a brilliant use of the time.
Yeah.
And we hope we didn't offend anyone. We're not trying to be offensive. We love everyone, especially if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, I hate you. Not really. I'm just kidding. But if you are subscribed and your country does have a wang, please put it in the comments down below and Alex and I will view your wang in next week's podcast. There you go. That's an incentive, isn't it? Yeah. Show us your wangs. Your country's wangs, not your real wangs. We don't want to see your real wangs. I don't know how you're going to show it to us. Oh, I know. Go on my Twitter. My Twitter's on the channel. It's at...
I'm not on Twitter.
It's on there. You can go on there and tweet me pictures of your wangs. There you go. Even better. I don't expect to get any, but if you do, you'll be heavily featured and thanked in the next podcast, and we'll do a giveaway where we give away our wangs to you. Because the UK doesn't really have a wang. It does have sort of like Devon and Cornwall, but that's kind of like a misshapen wang. It's more like an abnormal growth, that really. Kind of like Wales is kind of like the abnormal growth on the side of England, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're allowed to be offensive to them. They're in our little island, so that makes sense. It's only funny then. But anyway, yes. Thank you for listening. Hope you liked it, and it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Ah, yes. And may I wish you all a very happy day, and stay safe, and look out for them wangs. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Ah, I have expected you. Greetings. Do you know why I live here? Yes. I have been pondering on exactly that question. All in good time. First, a question for you. Imagine but a whisper pushing aside all in its path. What will you burn? What will you spare? Yes. Few could resist such a challenge. You once told me you did not believe in destiny. Do you have no better reason for acting than destiny? Are you nothing but a plaything of fate? Yes. Do not be afraid. Fulfill your destiny. Few could resist such a challenge. Why do you delay? What else would you seek? Go then. Fare thee well. Do not be afraid. Remember well. Power, you have it, but power is inert without action and choice.